Welcome to Are You Paying Attention?
Hello.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm David, and we're here to talk about Survivor.
Survivor started this week.
The first episode.
Oh my gosh, this show.
Honestly, we were both just talking about how you could not pay us any amount of money to go on this show.
The reward is not big enough.
Not. This show's so crazy.
Just the intro package of like 39 days, the hottest island in the world. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, no.
No, I'm out.
No, thank you.
I'm not doing that.
And then you watch the episode and I'm still like, no thank you.
It's crazy. This episode was like a really great premiere. So
well,
this episode is sort of like first impressions.
Yeah, we're getting to know everyone.
And then we get our first challenge. I thought the tribes, they really did sort of parse people out well. As much as I was a little bit skeptical after like the cast bios came out, I was like, oh, it does make sense that these 6 people are on brains and so on.
Well, kind of, but I feel like our rogue person, what did we call that person?
The wild card.
The wild card. I felt like the wild card stood out.
It did. You're right.
Everyone fit, but you still had that wild card.
Yes. Things I noticed.
Oh, yes.
Scott, the basketball player, he has the craziest voice. He's like a movie villain, like a cartoon movie villain. Did you notice that?
I did not.
He laughed and it was like, ha 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 ha. It was like very deep and like he has a whole cave inside of his throat.
Well, I think he and the bodyguard, those two on Braun.
The bounty hunter?
The bounty hunter.
Yep, Jason.
Those two, they're just so imposing.
Yeah.
I kind of am just going to do whatever they say.
Absolutely.
You know, they may not be the smartest. I mean, we'll find out down the road, but like, I feel like I'm going to kind of just not want to tick them off.
At least until the merge, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, but as long as I'm on a team with them, I'm like, yeah, whatever you say goes.
And so, okay, so since we're talking about the Braun team, they get their camp set up and they're sort of getting to know each other, and immediately they find their wild card, Alicia, Blondie, aka Blondie, who's not really participating in setting up camp. She doesn't really seem to like get things or want to do things.
Help, yeah. And she tries, like in her little confessional thing, she tries to prove her brawn cred. And she's like, I've swam with sharks and I've been around tigers face to face and I've bungee jumped. And it's like, well, you're just sort of a daredevil.
She's obviously very adventurous.
Yeah.
And she wants to see the world, and I get it. Makes sense, but still, you're not brawny.
You're not.
They sort of felt that one out immediately and were like, she's probably the one to go.
Yes.
Then our brains team. Debbie, it turns out to be a very strong personality.
She is such a kook.
She might be called crazy.
Yeah, I loved when she was like listing off all of her crazy jobs. And like she said she was a caretaker to nuns on top of like
Was she?
Yes. And then
I remember waiting tables at Red Lobster.
Thank you. She goes, in between jobs, I'm a waitress at Red Lobster. I'm like, okay, cut the shit, Debbie. You're a waitress at Red Lobster full time. Like
what? Are you not a captain anymore?
Yeah.
Very confused.
I'm very confused, but it does say waitress as her job title when she does her confessionals.
Okay,
so.
I'm getting to know more about Debbie.
And then I loved how she was she's sort of like obnoxiously arrogant.
Yes.
And she tells everybody how to do things and she knows how to do it. And then she was like trying to show, I forget who, how to make fire. And she was like, you really got to get the friction. I know it's hard. And he was really like going for it. And then it cuts to her and she was like,
well, yeah,
like, Debbie, what are you doing?
The editing was great because every time she was like, obviously I know how to do this, and then she never actually did it. So I was like, ooh, Debbie. I mean, it's a weird brain screw.
It is, but they've got 4 young people and 2 older people, Debbie and Joe, the FBI guy. So the 4 young people are sort of like, oh, well, let's get rid of these oldies.
Which I was like, I don't know if that's the best way to go. Joe is impressive to me.
Yeah.
We'll see. We haven't really seen what he can do yet, but I was like,
I would
up there,
count him out for sure.
You ageist people.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
You would expect that from the beauty tribe, maybe, but not from the brains tribe.
No, the brains tribe definitely was the cockiest, I thought.
Yeah.
They were just like so intellectual. Oh, and we had an incident on the brains tribe with the social media check.
Yes. She like really couldn't hack it. On like day 1, she just
day 2. She was saying she was having like a heat stroke or dehydration. She couldn't handle the sun.
But she just seemed totally disoriented and like just
it was definitely a mental thing, which I guess is to be expected in the brains group, they're going to be a little more analytical and mental,
in their
and
heads,
she,
yeah.
like she said, she built it up really big in her mind, and then she couldn't think linearly, I can't even say it. So she had a bit of a breakdown, which made people question her and her abilities.
Yeah, and she was sort of questioning it too,
Yeah.
and she was like, I just feel like you're not really getting to know me, and people
Yeah.
were like, yeah, okay.
Right. Which I can relate and be like, this is not me, this is really me.
Yeah, but like no one's
You
gonna
should meet me
believe
at
you.
home.
Yeah.
I'm so much cooler, I promise.
But then on the beauty tribe,
Beauty.
we have 5, you know, stereotypically beautiful, attractive people, all white, which is unfortunate.
Not
but then
Ty.
we have, but he's the non-traditional
Right, he would be
wild
our
card
wild card.
on the beauty tribe, and we love him.
But we see the beauty.
Oh my God.
Inside and out
Yes.
and all around. He might be the most beautiful person in the world.
On Earth.
I just want to say thank you, Survivor, for
Yes.
introducing us to him.
He's amazing.
I love him so much.
I couldn't believe his backstory too, that he was a Vietnam War survivor and like survived on that boat for so long on a little bit of water. He is like an amazing, amazing person.
And his care for all living things.
The chickens, the trees. He was like really choked up that Caleb was like chopping at a tree with a sword. Because he is a gardener.
He was instructing Caleb to do it, but like it still pained him.
It hurt, yeah.
And I just liked that he sort of took his time and saw the people freaking out about the chickens.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you know what we could do? And then he presents this lovely solution.
Yeah.
And everybody was so happy.
Including the chickens.
Including the chickens.
The chickens are so much happier.
And then that one jerk was like, they're gonna be dead soon. And I was like,
right.
you know what? You're the problem with this world.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were enjoying Ty until they saw
Yeah.
him looking for an idol.
He got busted.
On like day 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think it was a little too early to
Yeah,
like be going
definitely.
off on your own for a half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So they totally busted him, and I think he did the right thing. Like he didn't try to hide it and lie about it, because like you're
honest.
caught red-handed. Just say like, yeah, I'm looking for the idol.
Yeah.
But everyone was like, well, now I can't trust Ty. That paints a huge target on his back.
Right.
So he's sort of the target on the beauty tribe at this point.
And I was so impressed with our boy Caleb.
Yeah.
He brought it.
Yes.
He brought his trainer and Kentucky farm boy, all of that.
Absolutely.
And he was building that shelter, and he was tracking down food, and he was working it.
Just on top of everything.
I have high hopes for you, Caleb.
Me too.
So after a few days of acclimating, they have their first challenge.
And it is intense. They
Yes.
have to like dive into the ocean, and then they have to row a boat to shore and then push it up on a block and then roll it up and then solve a puzzle. Oh my gosh, there were so many steps.
So many steps, using all of the brains and brawn, using it all.
And all members of the team are participating.
This was the first time that they really had to like say, okay, you're doing this and you're doing what and what, blah, 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 work together.
And people sort of had to like show their strengths and say like, well, I dive, or like, I'm good at rowing. Like people have to say like, these are my talents, and really, you know, cement their place and their worth on the team.
Right.
So Darnell, one of our favorites, to be honest, from the Bronze Tribe, says like, you know, I'm a good diver. Let me do it. And then he dives in and the goggles just fly off of his face first thing.
They get goggles to dive because they're like detaching these oars. They immediately, that team loses their goggles and that puts them back.
Yeah.
The other 2 teams quickly get the oars and they get ahead.
Yeah.
The Bronze team does eventually get the oars and moves up, but they're very far behind.
Yes.
So that's the first mistake.
Right. But the Bronze team eventually catches up.
Right. So as soon as they're
two...
like pushing that boat and stuff, they're excelling. Oh my God, those 2 massive guys are like pulling a boat.
Right. Yeah, it was crazy. They
so
just like
they do catch up and they're up there, and now all the teams are now putting together their puzzles. On the Brains team, Aubrey, who had her mental breakdown.
Yep.
She was the one who got all the oars, doing the diving, and then she was doing the puzzle.
Yeah.
And they win.
And they won. Brains won. So they won like a big fire starting kit or whatever, but they win the first big reward of the season.
Immunity.
It seemed very close with the editing between Brawn and Beauty.
Beauty gets that last piece and just in time, they also win immunity. So that means Brawn is...
So they're going to tribal.
So we should also mention that during this challenge, yes, Darnell made that mistake with the goggles, but Alicia, aka Blondie, who they had originally sort of pointed out as the weakest link, was like, I don't do puzzles. And then she was just kind of standing there. When they first dumped out the puzzles, Sydney was like, get some pieces.
Yeah.
Like, she had to instruct
Yeah.
Alicia to
Like,
even like
do
dive
something.
in.
Yeah.
So she puts pieces up there, but then she still stands back. She does not help out with the puzzle at all. They eventually say, tag out.
Tag out, yeah. So then
get her
Scott,
out.
I think, went in her place, but she just really was obviously dead weight on the team the whole way through that challenge.
Right. So they leave that with those two people in mind.
Yep.
Of like, they lost this challenge.
Yeah, and they know it. Alicia and Darnell know that it's
True.
one of them going home. They get back to their camp, and Darnell is saying he's feeling uncomfortable around everyone, and he said, like, if people aren't talking to you, they're talking about you, and he's right.
Right.
You know, everyone was saying...
And he openly apologized to everybody and said, I screwed up. If you keep me, I'll be loyal. He, you know, tried to do his part.
Yes.
Alicia, also knowing that she's on the bottom, did her part in like the, let me talk to everyone one-on-one, let me try to scheme and really like point the blame to Darnell.
But she also was kind of pissing people off. I remember Scott went up to her and he was like, we're not voting you out, give us some information. Like, does Darnell have
that?
Yeah, right. But then, you know, Scott was like, does Darnell have an idol? And she was like, no, he doesn't. And he's like, do you have an idol? And she's like, well, I'm not saying I do, I'm not saying I don't. He's like, this is my problem with you.
Right.
Why don't you just be honest and like straightforward?
Yeah, like you could be kicked off right now.
Yeah.
It was very weird. She's obviously a schemer.
She
like
is.
that type of player.
And they sniffed it out.
So they go to tribal council with the two guys. So there's two guys and there's two girls to vote besides Alicia and Darnell. And the two guys were really leaning towards Darnell, which did not make a lot of sense to me, and they didn't show how that came together. Sydney had sort of aligned with Darnell from the beginning, and she was like, Alicia, like, no, she needs to go. But Sydney didn't speak up as much as I kind of thought she might.
Yeah.
She tried to play it safe. You don't want to rock the boat too much at the beginning.
I think that's what it was. Like, she didn't want to align herself too closely with someone that was going home, because then who knows, maybe she's the next target.
It was kind of up in the air at tribal. They all talk about it openly.
Yeah.
And was it Scott who was like, yeah, it's either Alicia or Darnell.
Right. And Darnell gives a like very impassioned speech about how he's tired of losing in life.
And he feels so bad. Like, he knows it's on him that he was part of this loss.
Yeah.
And he wants to make it up to them, and how much he still fought, and he was pushing that boat, and like all the other things that he did. And Alicia's just like, no, I'm gonna be loyal.
Yeah, I'm here for you guys.
They vote. It's a tie.
Tie. I was actually shocked that it was a tie.
I was too. Well, I was clearly like, you need to vote Alicia out right now.
And I thought Darnell's speech would have swayed more people.
Yeah.
But it was a tie.
It was a tie.
So then they had to re-vote, but Darnell and Alicia can't vote.
And they can only vote for one of those two.
And
they got rid of Darnell.
Yeah.
I honestly was upset by that.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why you keep someone who is just useless.
You know what? Maybe it's just because she's an easy target next time they go to tribal.
But so would Darnell. He would be
true.
an easy target.
Maybe in their minds, Darnell had more of an opportunity to redeem himself. It was just one mistake that he made, and he had the potential to be a really good player otherwise. So maybe they were thinking, well, we gotta just get him out while we can.
I guess, but isn't it kind of early to be getting rid of people who are potentially good players? Because you need your team
to win challenges.
Yes. That's the review.
That's what happened.
Let's now, David.
Yeah.
Let's say our brainiest moment, our brawniest moment, and our most beautiful moment.
Yes. Well,
let's do that.
Brainiest for me would be Aubrey's comeback from her meltdown, you know, heat stroke, dehydration, fruit mashed all over her face, like couldn't even form a full sentence.
Yeah.
And then she just came back and nailed it at the challenge. Like Sarah said, she got all the oars. She helped solve the puzzle. She was a huge reason why Brains was able to win the very first challenge. So that would be my brainiest moment of the episode.
I agree with you.
So what was your brawniest moment?
Brawniest moment had to be, what's her name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, who's the construction carpenter,
build
a house woman, had a bug in her ear.
Oh
my gosh. First off, just watching that.
It was painful.
I couldn't.
I was shouting at my screen to get a doctor in there, someone needs to get the bug out.
No doctor showed up. There was no medical that they showed to us. She's like cringing.
Writhing in pain.
She's saying, I can hear it, I can feel it crawling. She's like, I keep thinking it'll crawl out, but it's crawling more in. She's like, I'm in extreme pain.
Her ear was bleeding.
Her ear was bleeding. And this is like night vision. This is like during the night. She can't sleep. And they go to commercial break and I'm like, obviously when they come back, medical team has stepped in because she's about to die.
Right. And they're going to like medevac her or something is what I thought.
No, we come back the next day and everyone else is up and they're like, what's going on? She's like, ah!
Yeah.
And she's still dealing with it. Literally blood.
Yeah.
And she's like, ah.
Yeah.
And the team's like, I don't know.
I mean,
about to go play a challenge and she's not with it.
Yeah, they probably thought she was just losing her mind.
She's laying there. They see it crawl out of her ear.
Crawls around the outside of her ear. And they just sat there.
They're like, oh, I see it.
Oh, there it is.
I was like, y'all don't grab that bug.
You don't grab that bug and kill it right now. I was trying to put myself in her shoes.
Well, no, first off, no.
Yeah.
I will never. This is like one of my nightmares.
Yes.
In the comfort of my own bed, I think about things crawling in my ear.
Right.
This is awful.
Horrifying.
And she handles it like a pro.
Yeah, hats off to her. That was like so badass for her to stick through that. I would have been like, I don't know what's going to happen here. Is this thing going to crawl into my brain? And am I going to die?
Well, she said that to camera. Okay, guys, let's break this down. There is a producer standing next to a cameraman.
Doing nothing.
Talking to her. And they're like, tell us how you're feeling right now. And she's like, I'm in so much pain. She's like, it's mentally messing with me. She's like, but I don't know physically what it could be doing to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
911.
Yes.
Where's the doctor?
It's physically doing something to you. Yeah. So eventually when they saw it crawl out, someone did grab it and kill it. And then she was like, oh, so much better.
Yeah, I'm back to my old self.
Then she plays a challenge and she kicks butt. Yeah. And oh my God, applaud. Yeah. You get the brawniest moment.
Absolutely. That was amazing.
And I will be sleeping with my ears wrapped for the rest of my life.
Yes.
All right, so what's next?
Most beautiful.
Most beautiful moment. What is it, David?
100% agreement on this. It was just meeting Ty.
Getting to know Ty.
Seeing him climb the trees. Love on the chickens.
In his element.
He just had such a beautiful spirit. He really did. And it really made sense why he's on the beauty team.
Yeah. But I'm going to also just add to this.
Yeah.
If we say beautiful is the opposite of smart or equivalent to dumb, I'm going to say getting rid of Darnell and not Alicia is also a beautiful moment if we're putting those things together.
Right. I see what you did there.
Well, that is our opinion, right?
Yes.
Please tell us what you thought. Oh my gosh, Survivor's back.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Loving it. I'm hooked. Let's do this. I'm on board.
And if you want to see what happens next week, click subscribe because we'll be back.
That's right. We'll see you then. Bye.
See you then.